Welcome to Women Leading AI. We are so excited that you've taken time out of your busy schedule to join us here. We are super excited to let you know what God is birthing in this season. Lisa, can you just give us a little rundown of how this thing got started?
Oh my gosh. It started with a conversation. I gave you a call and we were talking about AI. You were surprised that I had been following Alicia Little for over 3 years, and you told me about the opportunity that you had. As a consultant, you had the opportunity to invite two people to the new summit that she was having. And what did I say, Taffiney?
Before I could get the words out of my mouth, she was like, yes. I was like, you don't even know where we're going.
It did not matter. I had already been on the AI train and I was like, I would love to see Alicia in person. I had been following her for about 3 years.
Wow.
And when we went to the summit, we saw, I want to say it was maybe 90% women in the summit.
Yes,
And
it
we
was.
were very impressed that,
And encouraging.
and it was very encouraging. It was very encouraging. Alicia Little shared so much. Her team shared so much. My mind was, it was so amazing. And I was just thinking and asking God, oh gosh, I can do this, I can do that, I can do that. It was almost overwhelming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Almost overwhelming. We had a great time. And we drove up to Atlanta, stayed there. And then when we were driving back, we were just talking about all of the wonderful things. And God dropped in my spirit that we needed to start a podcast. I told Taffany, and she looked and she said, okay. And she started typing in. Chat GPT, typing in chatty.
Yes.
You know what? At the end of our travels, when we got home, we had the framework
Yep.
of a podcast.
Yes.
And God told us when we would start and all of the good things. And you know what? I say, thank you, Lord.
Amen.
Because there are a lot of people talking about AI. There are a lot of people having video. There are a lot of people doing podcasts about AI, but it is not focused on a great deal of them are not focused on women. And
Right.
felt that this should be our focus. Women leaders, women entrepreneurs, women who are working, but even those who are stay at home moms or stay at home wives.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, I think, was the biggest piece. Like after we, like, as you said, we had the framework, had really like studied what colors to look at, talk to God to say, hey, Lord, we're submitting this thing to you. How would you want us to lead? And as leaders, both of us are leaders, and both of us being in media, it was just like, duh, why wouldn't he give us media as an outlet to be able to bring this to women who are leaders? And we're all leaders in the sense of, are we leading our homes? Are we leading our families? You know, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily out in the workforce leading or in ministry leading or whatever. It is leaders as a whole. And I think the beauty of it, it was so much more confirmed as I went to She Builds, which was an opportunity we had to go and build apps and learn about vibe coding and all of the other stuff that is huge in the AI world. I was so impressed with, there again, the number of women that were at that event and that were actually doing something with AI and not just utilizing it like Google. You
Right.
know, they
Which
were
is how
actually
I used it. Let me just let me just share my origin story. My good friend and ministry partner Maggie Kavanaugh introduced me to Chat GPT, and she kept asking several times, "Had you tried it yet?" And I said, "No, no, no, I'll get to it." Well, one day I started using it, and like most people use Google, I was just asking questions. And then something shifted. As it started giving me feedback, I realized this isn't just a search tool. This is a strategy tool. At
Yeah.
first, I was just looking for answers, but then I started engaging it differently. And ladies, that really matters. I
Mhm.
stopped asking questions and started building with it.
Yeah, that's a huge thing, and I think that I've been using, ChatGPT and other platforms since 2020. So I've been, and it's a lot different than it was back then, but at that time, I was looking more on how do I strategize? How do I have all of these things that are in my to-do list. How do I help put these things in priority based on what my desired outcome is? And I started using it from that perspective. So a lot of times, like even in my coaching practice and my counseling practice, more so, okay, if I'm doing some counseling, what are some activities that I can give my client that would help them to better secure this new mindset that we've been working on, or these new thought processes that we've been working on? Or in the coaching spaces, hey, I'm getting ready to do a retreat. Can you help me outline, what this is the whatever, and using it in that way. So by the time 2024 rolled around, it was like, wait a minute, maybe I should be doing something a little different. So I started taking it a little more serious. And as I was speaking, seeking the Lord for advice, and then saying, okay, God, what do I do with this? What do I do with that? He started to ask me the questions. When were you the quote unquote happiest? 360 degrees, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially, in all areas of your life. When were you the most happiest and the most satisfied? And I started thinking back, and I was like, it was when I was auditing. When I was auditing regulatory compliance areas, I audited casinos for years. And when I was building the auditing team, because from auditing myself to building the auditing team, and then expanding that team to other locations, or more teams to other locations, there was a framework that God showed me. And it was the pause, the purge, the pivot, and the shift. And it was when I said yes to God. So that's known now as the yes framework, which is where Yes AI Consulting came from. And as I was thinking about that, he was showing me that I didn't only use that when it came to auditing or streamlining systems, but it was also the process that I used myself in my healing journey, in my spiritual walk, when I spoke with coaching clients or counseling clients. So then I started putting that into different AI tools and saying, hey, help me come up with a framework. This is what I did when I sat down with the at the casinos. This is what I did when they brought me in to bring auditing in-house versus bringing outside auditors into the system. And when he started to show me that, I was like, wait a minute, there's more to this thing. And that's when I started looking at different platforms of AI, or artificial intelligence, in order to advance from the, hey, what time does Starbucks open? Or what time can I get into Sam's Club? Like the normal quote unquote, most people using it for a Google tool. So that's kind of the origin story of how that started for me, of being able to move from just being a consumer of it to actually using it to strategize and to build, and then to move it into a space of being an income or a revenue generating industry for me and for whomever else it is that is out there.
Yeah, and Taffiney, like you as a counselor and master coach and ministry leader, I carry a lot. And so I was using Chat GPT to refine my thoughts. I would ask it to structure my ideas, to turn teaching into content, and I would test messaging and clarity. And when I think about it, I had the vision, but I
Mm,
needed help making it plain, consistent, and scalable. And how you use Chat GPT really makes a difference. I started using it not to replace my voice, but to refine it.
that's so good. That refining, and that's where ethical use of any AI tool comes into play. You know, it is artificial intelligence, and
Intelligent.
yeah, and as my grandma used to say, she knows some very intelligent fools. In other words, it does not.
Come on.
They smart, but
Mhm.
they have no common sense. They have no discernment of when to, where to, how to. They don't use good judgment. They don't have compassion. They're very unethical in their approach to what they use, their morals and their, the movement, the mindset, what their motives are. All of those things were not in place with what my grandma used to call intelligent fools. So I kind of think sometimes about artificial intelligence as, you know, being an intelligent fool. But
But you know what I loved, and I think you can agree with this, is Alicia Little is not a major gatekeeper.
no,
And she had challenges, and we went through those challenges. And one of the things that she showed us is how to tailor Chat GPT for more privacy.
yes.
Taffy, share
Privacy.
more about that.
Yes, privacy as well as personalization. As you said, we use these tools in order for us to be able to come up with better content, be able to create great graphics, to, be able to prioritize or make a proprietary process of what it is we do that is repeatable and scalable, all of those things. However, the very first thing we need to do, especially when it comes to Chat GPT and all other forms of large learning models, right, is to go into your settings and check on your data controls. One of the things that I saw, one of those gaps, was people being able to teach or giving people the opportunity to learn some of the safety mechanisms that are to be put in place. If you go into your settings on Chat GPT, for example, and you'll find your settings by clicking on your profile, whether it be your picture that's there or your name that's there, and go to settings. Move down in your settings to where it says data controls. And in that data control, it comes standardly where that is toggled on. Toggle it off for safety. What that is allowing Chat GPT or these large learning models to utilize your content, your data, to train other models. When we turn it off, no longer are they able to use that, and that particular data security is just that, it's secure. So
Right.
it doesn't stop it from remembering what you use it on your device. And when you change it on your device, whether it be on your phone or it be on your laptop or desktop, it changes it across the board based on the email address that you use to have this account. So make sure that that's the first thing that you do when you get ready to go in there and utilize ChatGPT or any large learning model for that, in that case.
That's right. The builders of artificial intelligence understands our need for safety.
Yes.
They will absolutely put things in place. However, we must also use wisdom and common sense.
Yes.
So you really want to be careful of the type of information that you're inputting in Chat GPT or any type of artificial intelligent tool. There are so many out there. And Taffiney, I know you and I were talking about businesses and the different ways that people who work in businesses can use artificial intelligent tools, and they may use it incorrectly,
Mhm.
right? And so based just on that information, what is your take on that?
Well, I'll tell you something that's come down actually in the last couple of days, and then one I got an alert this morning. So I'm a compliance advisor and a consultant, a certified consultant, as well as helping with risk management in the compliance or the regulatory industries, such as casinos, such as financial institutions, such as insurance offices, doctor's office, HIPAA laws, real estate, all of those things. I kind of specialize in that area. And so one of the things that came across today is that there was a federal law passed that there has to be transparency when it comes to music. You know, if the composer, if the composition of the music is AI generated, that has to be a transparent thing, as well as now the new compliance things are that you're being transparent with all things. You
Okay.
know, I don't know. Yeah, all things. So it's important that businesses are very intentional about disclosing when artificial intelligence is being used. Now, we know that we build AI agents at Yes AI Consulting. And so, with the agents that we build, Lisa and I, the ones that we build, we put compliance issues into it so that it knows that if this happens, these are the guardrails. We have to put guardrails in place. If this happens, it automatically is an escalation to a human agent, or disclosing there again what we're using. And there have been, a matter of fact, there was one today where there was a company sued. I think it was a real estate company that was sued because it was utilizing AI to make cold calls, and it was not making it clear that this was an AI agent that was doing it. So, as businesses, we have to be very intentional and careful to make sure that there are transparent advisement that this is not a human doing this. This is AI doing it. And one of the things also, I think it was 2 or 3 days ago, there was insurance agencies, for example, they are utilizing AI to look at your claims. Like when you send in a claim, AI is the one that's looking at the claim to either approve it or to not approve it. And what happened was they were letting it be approved or not approved without there being humans that were checking it to make sure that that was correct. And that is very unethical, number one. Number two is irresponsible.
Yes.
And number three, they got sued pretty good. The
Yeah.
amount of money that they had to pay out for that one claim was huge. So compliance is important, transparency is important, and having a human first experience, meaning that you're going back, you're the regulatory, you're the ones that are, because you're the ones that's going to be responsible. AI is not going to take the responsibility when they make a mistake. So, as business owners, we have to be intentional about making sure that we're checking back over the content. Yes, it's done the hard work. It's showing you, ask for the resource, ask for the source, ask what the reason this claim was denied. If you ask why the claim was denied, AI will tell you why it was denied. And then you have the opportunity to go back and make a judgment based on what you know as to be right or not right. So,
That's so good. There are many benefits of using artificial intelligence, of using AI, but we must be good stewards over how we use it. We cannot just use it without using our discernment.
that's right.
Discernment is so very important, using wisdom. Wisdom is so very important. When, as Christians, we often pray, Lord, continue to expand my wisdom, revelation, and knowledge. And when He does that, and He tells us to do something very specific, and we do it, we feel comfortable doing it because we know that He has told us to do it. Working with AI, you have to be careful because AI will ask wonderful questions. They'll ask wonderful questions, but they'll also inspire you to go in directions that you may not desire to go in. And so you
Mhm.
have to absolutely use caution with AI, but it is a wonderful tool. I
Mhm.
created outlines, I created social media content that actually connects. I built webinar funnels and marketing campaigns. You know, using AI can be a benefit. Even asking it to create a menu for you, telling it what you have in your kitchen, and asking it to create a menu for you. There are so many ways that these tools can be used.
Mhm.
But again, we have to be careful. We
Yeah, most definitely. And I love the fact that you bring up like the practical ways that you can use it because so many people think it's just for business purposes or, there's no need for me to have it or to learn it or I'm too old. That's what I've heard more than anything. I'm too old, I'm too busy, I'm too. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, we're in an era that, I think it said they said 40%. um Oh, it was on the mindset thing today. They were talking about how many jobs were going to be lost because of AI, but then they talked about how many jobs were going to be created because of AI.
have,
So, the creation of jobs or career opportunities and entrepreneurial spaces has increased significantly with the addition of AI. So, when we talk about practical uses, like you said, menus, meal prep. These are the things I have in my cabinet. What recipe can you give me? What can I make in the next 30 minutes? Because we got a ball game at 5 o'clock. Like, there are so many different things. What do I need to get from the grocery store? Like I'm on a heart healthy diet. What are some things that I need to eliminate from my cabinets and what do I need to add to my cabinets? Just small things, tomorrow I need to do this, and this, but I also need to leave an hour to go work out. Can you help me plan my day out? There are so many things, even when it comes to our children or grandchildren for me, what are some activities that me and my granddaughter can have that can teach her about, uh, you know, respecting adults? Like, what are all types of things? There are practical uses. It's not just about business or creating a business. There are literally practical tools that you can use. I was telling Lisa, I'm going on a Mediterranean cruise next year, and I want to be able to speak a few words, even if it's just hello, how are you doing, or thank you very much, or where's the bathroom, in each one of the languages of these places that I will visit. I literally can set a schedule on my phone for one of the AI tools to send me a word in that language every morning, the spelling of the word, and how to use it in a sentence. So I
right.
can learn those things. We can use it for tutors for our kids. They've got a spelling test coming up. This is a list of the spelling words, help them study. Those are things that that tool can help them do while you're doing dinner or while you're doing the human only things that can be doing, not to take away the relational time that you have with your children or with your spouse, but to give you a little bit of extra time back while you're actually preparing dinner or doing folding laundry or whatever it might be.
Yes. Ladies, AI, artificial intelligence, is here to stay. It's here to stay. And I love the fact that it is known for speed. When what used to take me hours now can just take minutes.
Mhm.
Clarity. It helps me organize what God is already speaking. And clarity will literally change your life. Okay? God is not the author of confusion. Consistency can show up regularly without burning out,
Yes.
especially for entrepreneurs. Creativity, it gives me angles, it gives me ideas, it gives me language that I may not have seen before. AI, even if you're a logical person, AI can bring out your creativity.
Yeah.
Scalability. Oh my gosh. I can turn one idea into a teaching, a post, and a product. these are some benefits that I can do with AI. But let me say this, AI is only as powerful as the person using it.
100% correct. It kind of confirms what happened with us on our ride back. You know, normally when you start thinking about a podcast, you're at least 4 to 6, maybe sometimes 8 weeks out. You
Right.
got to do the research to find out what's working and what's not working. You got to do the research to find out what's already out there and what that's looking like. You got to stop and think about what colors you want to use and what your first 3 to 6 episodes would look like and how to do YouTube and all of what platforms to be. You got to do all of that. We were able to have every bit of that worked out in the matter of hours
Yes.
from the time the Lord dropped the word podcast in your spirit until we got back and had all of those things already figured out. And we're less than a month out. I mean, we're right at a month out from the time. Yeah, we're right at a month. And here we have already been in the studio and recorded several episodes and have the YouTube channel, have the URL for the website, have, you know, the podcast, what is it? Buzzsprout,
Yeah.
Buzzsprout. Yeah, but got all that already done. There is no way that would have been possible without AI's assistant. Now, I'm not gonna say no way, because when God gives you something, He puts it in. He can put it in you know, fast speed for you in no time and drop all of those things directly into your spirit. However, we know that God created AI because nothing is done without God's permission. I don't care how smart they are.
Right.
If God didn't say okay, it wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So He's a creative, we're creatives, and we were able to put those things that were in our heads on in a space. In AI, it moved at the speed of AI.
Amen. And you know, God created AI as a tool,
Exactly.
as a belief system.
Correct.
You don't ask AI what to believe. Okay? You don't ask AI what to believe. You use it to help you communicate what God has already shown you or what you're curious about. You know, many of you have been wondering and thinking, what if? What would happen if I did this? You've been questioning a lot of things. Plug it into AI. Plug it into AI. Use AI to answer a lot of your questions, but be careful to use AI in your belief system.
Correct.
You know, just like the media tells lies, just like people around you tells lies, you know, you have to understand AI is not perfect.
Correct.
AI is not always correct.
Right. And that's where you want to go in sometimes and ask it, where did it get its source?
Its source.
It has to tell you. So once it tells you the source, then you can go fact check and look at the sources and say, oh, wow, that's not correct. And then correct it. Listen, me and Chatty, we'd be like, look, that ain't right.
Women, AI can be a joy. AI can be a relief from, I mean, just constantly striving.
Yeah.
Striving. You know, a lot of times, you know, our days are growing shorter. And so a lot of times we don't have time to even look into things that we're interested in. A lot of times we feel too tired. We feel too much. And so I would encourage you to ask God, how should you use AI? Listen to what He has to say. Play around with ChatGPT, play around with Claude, play around with the different tools and see what it can do for you.
Yeah. And it's very important to know if you do have a desire and you know what it is that you're wanting to do, if you're wanting to do content, if you're wanting to do photos, if you're wanting to do graphics, if you're wanting to build a journal, if you're wanting to write a book, if you're wanting to do whatever, find out, just go to ChatGPT because they got a free version. Go
Right.
to ChatGPT and say, hey, what's the best AI tool for this particular thing that I want to do? You know, when it comes to deep research, Perplexity is always my go-to. So that's a more, there again, research-driven platform, and it automatically gives you the source. It will tell you where it got every bit of the information and all of this. And when I see things on, because, you know, we got there again, using discernment. When I see things that are reported, I literally will take a copy of the link and go drop it into Perplexity and say, hey, is this real news or is this fake news?
Come
And
on.
you will be amazed at how many times it'll say it is misrepresented, it's overstated, this part is true, this part is not true, this is where I got this source from, this is where I got that from, and it will let me know. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then you know what I do? I take that information and I turn around and use it in some of my content. Because now I can say, yeah, this report was done about this particular platform. However, it was misrepresented. This is why you have to be so careful with blah, blah, blah and compliance. So I'm able to utilize even the wrong information that's put out there and use it for good. Because the word says that he would turn, listen, I'm not going to get to preaching, but you know.
If you've been sitting on a message, a business, a ministry, AI may be the tool to finally move you. Not because you're called per se, but because now you have support to execute.
Yeah.
You have support to execute. Faith without works is dead. AI helps you put your faith to work. Come on, guys. I
Yes.
encourage you, please, please, please use it. And Taffiney, so we have a challenge coming up. Please share about that.
We have a 3-day challenge coming up where we will spend every day for 3 days, anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes, depending upon if you come in free or you do the upgrade to VIP. We will spend that time for 3 days in a row talking about AI. We won't just be talking. This is going to be an interactive workshop. So it's going to be, you're going to be given a challenge. Every day you're going to be given something to go and do and come back the next day with something and be able to get a little bit more comfortable, learn a little bit more about what it is, what it isn't, what you should use it for, what you shouldn't use it for. All of those things are going to be in that challenge. And that challenge is going to be held in just a couple of weeks. So you've got time to register. We will definitely make sure the link is in the comment below. But it is going to run April the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th. And if you go VIP, you might even have a bonus day or some type of bonus stuff that's in there. And we're going to, like I said, anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half, we're going to spend with you, making sure that you are given at least the information to be able to make a more educated decision on what you use it for, what you don't use it for, or if you even use it at all.
Amen. Ladies, please join us in this challenge and please subscribe to Women Leading AI. We will have very valuable information for you. You will be learning about things, you will be encouraged. And, let's stick together. Let's create a sisterhood in this AI because, it's not going anywhere. It
Yep.
is here to stay. So we might as well embrace it, but again, use wisdom and discernment in doing so.
We also have started, we're just getting started with a school community, which is a free community where we will be bringing some experts in and they will be speaking about AI. They'll be speaking about how they're utilizing it in their business. And we will also have those interviews on our podcast a little bit more, but we will go a lot more in depth when we have inside of that community. So we're super, super, super excited about that. It's just so much down the pipe. There again, God has just truly expanded our territory. We've got AI literacy classes that we'll be teaching. We'll be teaching about how to create your own custom GPT in some of those workshops. We will be teaching about how to have that custom GPT go out and find grants that you might be able to apply for. I mean, so much we're going to be learning inside of this community. So make sure you get in the school community as well.
And we will have a newsletter, and that information will be in the comments below. So, Taffiney, I'm so excited about this new transition God has us in. And ladies, I'm excited for you because we want to educate you. We want to get you involved. And so, again, join the school community as well as subscribe to Women Leading AI. God bless.
God bless.